Chapter 1, Introduction to Speaking Confidence. Hi, I am Freya, your English teacher, and today I am going to talk about how you can gain confidence in speaking English. Do you sometimes feel nervous when you try to speak English? Maybe you worry about making mistakes, or perhaps you feel shy in front of others. You are not alone. Many people feel the same way. But there's good news. You can overcome these fears. The key to becoming confident in English isn't just about knowing more words or grammar. It's about learning to believe in yourself and being brave enough to speak, even if it's not perfect. Imagine this. You're in a room full of people and someone asks you a question in English. You feel your heart beat faster and your mind goes blank. You want to say something, but the fear of saying the wrong thing stops you. This is the exact moment when confidence can change everything. As Peter T. McIntyre once said, confidence comes not from always being right, but from not fearing to be wrong. Isn't that true? The more we stop worrying about mistakes, the more confident we become. Here's something important to remember. Making mistakes is part of learning. Every time you make a mistake, you are one step closer to mastering English. Think of it like riding a bike. You may fall a few times, but with practice, you get better and better. The same happens with English. Every time you speak, you get stronger. So, how can you start building confidence in English? The first step is practice. Practice speaking as much as you can. Speak slowly, think about what you want to say, and don't rush. Even if you're just talking to yourself, that's still practice. Stand in front of a mirror and speak about your day or what you learned. If you can, find a friend or family member who is willing to practice with you. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Also, remember to smile when you speak. It may sound simple, but smiling can make you feel more confident. When you smile, your body feels more relaxed, and the people listening to you will also feel more comfortable. Try it the next time you speak English. We've also uploaded videos on our channel specifically designed to help you improve your English. These videos focus on basic conversations, and I encourage you to watch them and follow along. You can practice speaking along with the videos. This will help you feel more comfortable speaking out loud and boost your confidence. Another great way to build confidence is by using simple sentences. Start with easy words and phrases that you're familiar with. You don't have to use big, complicated words right away. For example, instead of saying, I am feeling quite overwhelmed, you can simply say, I feel tired. This makes it easier for you to speak without overthinking. Remember, confidence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Just like learning anything new, speaking English will feel easier and more natural the more you do it. Before we wrap up this chapter, I want to leave you with this thought. Confidence is something you build step by step. Start small and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Keep practicing and speaking. And you'll notice that with time, your fear will slowly fade away. Chapter 2: Overcoming the Fear of Speaking. We all know that speaking English is a big part of learning the language. But one of the hardest things to deal with is fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of not being understood, or even fear of embarrassing ourselves. This fear can feel like a giant wall standing in front of you, blocking your path to becoming a confident English speaker. But what if I told you there's a simple way to start breaking down that wall? Let's start by understanding why this fear exists. Fear is natural. It happens because we worry about what others might think of us, especially if we say something wrong. But guess what? Everyone makes mistakes, even native English speakers. Making mistakes is how we learn. And the sooner you embrace this, the sooner you'll feel more relaxed when speaking. Albert Hubbard once said, "The greatest mistake you can make in life is to be continually fearing you will make one." And isn't that the truth? The more you focus on avoiding mistakes, the harder it becomes to speak freely. So, let's look at some practical ways to get over this fear. The first thing you can do is start small. You don't have to jump into long conversations right away. Begin with simple, short sentences. For example, try greeting people in English. Say, "Hi, how are you?" or "Good morning." These small steps help you feel comfortable and give you practice without too much pressure. When you feel ready, you can move on to asking questions like, "What did you do today?" or "Do you like this movie?" Slowly, you'll realize that it's not as scary as it seems. Another great tip is to practice speaking English by yourself first. Yes, you heard that right. Before you speak to others, try talking to yourself. You can describe what you're doing, like, "I am making coffee," or "I am going to the store." This simple practice helps you get used to hearing yourself speak English. And it also builds your confidence for when you talk to others. If you still feel nervous, try using positive affirmations before speaking. Positive affirmations are simple phrases you say to yourself to boost your confidence. For example, before you start speaking, you can say, "I am confident and I can speak English." Say it out loud a few times. You might feel a little silly at first, but trust me, it works. These positive words help you get into the right mindset, making you feel more relaxed and ready to speak. Another technique that works wonders is to focus on breathing. When you're nervous, your breathing becomes shallow, which makes you feel more tense. Before speaking, take a few deep breaths. Breathe in slowly through your nose, hold it for a moment, and then exhale through your mouth. This helps calm your nerves and allows you to speak more clearly. Here's another important thing to remember: don't compare yourself to others. We all learn at our own pace, and it's okay if your English isn't perfect right now. Confidence comes from within, not from being better than someone else. The more you practice and focus on your own progress, the less you'll care about what others think. It's about your journey, not theirs. One way to overcome fear is to speak with someone you trust. Maybe it's a friend or a family member who understands that you are learning. This can create a safe environment for you to practice speaking without feeling judged. You can even ask them to correct you when needed, but only if you feel comfortable. When you practice in this way, you'll notice your fear slowly disappearing. And don't forget, you can always start by speaking with yourself. Stand in front of a mirror, talk to yourself about your day, or read aloud in English. It may feel strange at first, but the more you practice, the more natural it will feel. You'll get used to the sound of your own voice speaking English, and that's a big step toward gaining confidence. As you keep practicing, remember the wise words of Eleanor Roosevelt. Do one thing every day that scares you. This could mean saying hello to a stranger in English or answering a question in a conversation. The more you face your fears, the more they will shrink. We've also uploaded helpful videos on our channel that guide you through small, easy conversations. These videos are perfect for practicing and can help you get started with simple dialogues. Watch them and try to repeat the sentences out loud. The more you expose yourself to English, the more confident you will become. So, what's the takeaway here? Fear is normal, but it doesn't have to stop you. Start small, practice often, and speak without worrying about mistakes. Each time you speak, even if it's just a little, you are building your confidence. And remember, it's okay to be scared. Just don't let that fear keep you silent. Chapter 3: Power of Practice and Repetition. By now, you've probably realized that overcoming fear is just one part of the journey to gaining confidence in speaking English. But what if I told you that the real magic happens through practice? Yes, practice is the most powerful tool you have. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will become. And over time, speaking English will start to feel as natural as anything else you do every day. Think of this like learning to play a musical instrument. When you first start, it feels awkward. Your fingers don't know where to go, and the sounds may not be perfect. But with regular practice, everything starts to make sense. And soon enough, you're playing music with ease. The same is true for English. The more you speak, the easier it will become. One of the best ways to practice is through repetition. Repeating the same words and sentences helps your brain and mouth get used to forming the sounds. This is where the magic of practice lies. Every time you repeat something, you're teaching your brain to remember it more easily. Soon, speaking English will start to feel like second nature. There's a great saying: confidence is gained through experience. This means that the more you do something, the more confident you become. If you want to be confident in speaking English, You need to keep speaking, even if you make mistakes. Practice doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to happen regularly. So, how can you start practicing effectively? One simple way is to set up a daily English speaking routine. For example, you can start each morning by talking about your plans for the day out loud in English. You might say, "Today, I will go to work," or "I am going to study English." Keep your sentences short and simple at first. The important thing is that you are speaking every day. You can also practice by shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen to someone speak English and then repeat exactly what they say. This is a powerful technique because it helps you learn the natural rhythm and pronunciation of English. Start with videos or podcasts where the speaker talks slowly and clearly. Repeat what they say, even if you don't understand every word. The goal here is to get used to how English sounds and feels. Shadowing also helps you improve your accent and fluency, which is key to gaining confidence. On our channel, we have several videos designed for shadowing practice. I encourage you to try them out. Watch the video, pause after each sentence, and repeat what you hear. With enough practice, you'll start to feel more confident when you speak on your own. Another great way to practice is by speaking with friends or family members. Find someone who is patient and willing to help you. It could be a friend who speaks English or even someone who is also learning. Practice simple conversations like asking how their day was or discussing a topic you both enjoy. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just focus on speaking as much as you can. If you can't find someone to practice with, don't worry. You can still practice alone. Talk to yourself in English throughout the day. Describe what you're doing or what you're thinking. For example, if you're cooking, say, "I am chopping vegetables," or "I am boiling water." These small moments of practice will add up, and before you know it, you'll feel more confident. Remember, it's important to practice regularly. Even just 10 or 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference over time. The key is consistency. The more you practice, the more progress you'll make, and the more confident you'll feel. I know practicing can sometimes feel repetitive or boring, but think of it like this. Each time you practice, you're taking one step closer to becoming a fluent English speaker. You are training your brain and your mouth to work together, and that's how confidence is built. Here's a tip to keep your practice sessions interesting. Set small goals for yourself. For example, one day you might focus on practicing greetings like, "Hello, how are you?" The next day, you might work on introducing yourself or asking simple questions. By setting these small, daily goals, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment each time you complete them, which will boost your confidence even more. And don't forget, mistakes are part of the process. Every time you make a mistake, you're learning. Just like when you first learned to ride a bike, you probably fell down a few times, but those falls helped you learn how to balance. In the same way, mistakes in speaking English help you improve. Don't be afraid of them, embrace them. As you continue practicing, I encourage you to check out the videos on our channel that focus on simple conversation skills. They're a great way to keep your practice fresh and exciting. And you can use them to shadow or repeat what you hear. To wrap up this chapter, I want you to remember this. Practice makes progress, and progress builds confidence. Every time you speak, even if it's just a few sentences, you're moving closer to your goal of speaking English fluently and confidently. Chapter 4, Thinking in English, Not Translating. One of the biggest hurdles for English learners is the habit of translating everything from their native language into English before speaking. This can slow you down and make you feel less confident when trying to communicate. But what if you could start thinking in English instead? It may sound difficult, but with the right practice, it's completely possible. And it's a game changer for building confidence. Why is thinking in English so important? When you translate in your head, it takes time. You have to think of the sentence in your own language, then find the English words, and finally say it. By the time you're ready to speak, the conversation might have already moved on. Not only that, but translating also makes your speech sound less natural. But when you think directly in English, your words flow more smoothly and you feel more confident in conversations. Imagine how much easier it would be to respond quickly and naturally if your thoughts were already in English. You wouldn't have to stop and think, what's the word for this? Or how do I say that? You would just speak. As the saying goes, the man who has confidence in himself gains the confidence of others. When you think in English, it shows that you are confident in your ability to communicate, and others will feel more comfortable speaking with you as well. So, how can you train your mind to think in English? Here are a few simple techniques that can help. Start with simple thoughts. Begin by training your brain to think simple, everyday thoughts in English. For example, if you're walking to the store, instead of thinking, I need to buy milk in your native language, try saying it to yourself in English. I need to buy milk. This may seem small, but these little thoughts add up and help your brain get used to processing English. You can also do this when you're at home. For example, when you're cooking, think, I am cutting vegetables, or I need to turn off the stove. By doing this regularly, you're creating a habit of thinking in English, which will eventually lead to speaking more naturally without translating. Use labels around your home. Another great way to start thinking in English is by surrounding yourself with English words. One easy technique is to label items around your house with their English names. For example, you can put a label on your refrigerator that says fridge or on your door that says door. Each time you see these labels, your brain connects the object with the English word, and slowly you'll start thinking in English without even realizing it. Immerse yourself in English. To think in English, you need to surround yourself with the language as much as possible. This doesn't mean you have to move to an English speaking country. You can create your own English speaking environment by watching English TV shows or listening to English podcasts, like the ones on our channel. As you listen, don't just focus on the meaning. Pay attention to how the speakers think and express their ideas. Over time, you'll notice that your mind begins to pick up these patterns, and you'll find it easier to think in English. Practice writing in English. Writing is another powerful way to train your brain to think in English. Try keeping a daily journal where you write about your day, your thoughts, or your plans in English. The act of writing forces you to think in the language, and as you practice, it will become more natural to express your thoughts in English. You don't have to write long paragraphs. Just a few sentences each day will make a big difference. Stop aiming for perfection. One reason many learners translate in their heads is that they want to speak perfectly. But here's the truth: no one speaks perfectly all the time, even in their own language. It's okay to make mistakes. When you let go of the need to say everything perfectly, your mind will relax and you'll be able to think and speak more freely. As you practice, your thoughts in English will become clearer and more confident. This mindset shift is key to gaining confidence. If you're always worried about being perfect, it creates pressure that slows you down. But when you focus on communicating, even if it's not perfect, you'll find that you can think and speak much more easily. Visualize situations in English. Another great technique is to visualize common situations in English. For example, imagine you're at a restaurant ordering food. Picture the menu, the waiter, and the conversation you'll have. Think about what you would say. I would like a salad, please. Or, can I have some water? By practicing these scenarios in your head, you're preparing yourself for real life conversations. The more you visualize, the more comfortable you'll feel when the time comes to actually speak. As you work on thinking in English, don't forget to use the resources on our channel. We've uploaded several listening and speaking exercises that will help you immerse yourself in English and think more naturally. Try shadowing some of the sentences, repeating them until they feel natural. The more you practice, the easier it will be to stop translating and start thinking directly in English. Before we move on, let's take a moment to reflect on the power of this shift. By training yourself to think in English, you're giving yourself the freedom to communicate without hesitation. You're breaking the habit of translating and unlocking the confidence to speak smoothly and naturally. As you continue to practice, you'll notice how much faster and clearer your thoughts in English become. Chapter 5: Using Positive Affirmations and Visualization. Confidence is not just something you can build with practice, it's also a mindset. A big part of gaining confidence in speaking English comes from believing in yourself. Sometimes the only thing holding us back is our own thoughts. If you keep telling yourself, I'm not good at English, or I will make mistakes, those negative thoughts will stop you from progressing. But what if you could change that inner voice to something more positive? This is where positive affirmations and visualization come into play. Let's talk about positive affirmations first. Positive affirmations are short, simple statements that help reprogram your mind to think more confidently. When you repeat these affirmations daily, they replace negative thoughts with empowering ones. Think of them as little messages of encouragement you send to yourself, helping you feel more confident every time you speak English. For example, you might say to yourself, I can speak English confidently, or I am improving every day. At first, these affirmations might not feel true, but over time, as you keep repeating them, they become more natural. Your brain starts to believe them, and you begin to act more confidently because of it. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, believe you can, and you're halfway there. This is the magic of positive thinking. It sets the stage for success. If you tell yourself you're capable of speaking English well, your brain will start to believe it, and you'll feel more confident when you speak. Here's how you can use positive affirmations effectively. Choose simple affirmations that resonate with you, such as, I am getting better at English every day, or I speak English clearly and confidently. Repeat them daily, either in front of a mirror or while going about your day. You can say them silently in your mind or out loud, whatever feels right for you. The key is to repeat them regularly so that they become part of your mindset. Use affirmations before speaking. If you're about to have a conversation in English, whether it's with a friend, at work, or even online, take a few moments to say your affirmations. This will help calm your nerves and set a positive tone for the conversation. Positive affirmations work because they help break the cycle of negative self talk. Instead of worrying about making mistakes, you're focusing on your progress and abilities. Over time, this shift in thinking will help you feel more confident and ready to speak. Now, let's talk about visualization. Visualization is another powerful tool for building confidence. It's all about imagining yourself successfully speaking English in real life situations. By visualizing success, you train your brain to believe that you can achieve it. Athletes often use this technique to imagine winning a race or scoring a goal before they actually do it. You can use the same approach to imagine yourself speaking English fluently and confidently. Here's a simple way to start visualizing. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, and imagine yourself in a situation where you need to speak English. It could be at a cafe ordering coffee, at work, giving a presentation or chatting with a friend. Picture everything in detail: what you're wearing, the sounds around you, and how you feel. Now, imagine yourself speaking confidently. Your words come out smoothly, and you feel relaxed and in control. The people you're talking to are listening, and the conversation is flowing naturally. As you visualize, try to experience the positive emotions of the situation. Feel the sense of accomplishment and pride that comes with speaking English confidently. By practicing this regularly, you're training your mind to associate speaking English with positive emotions rather than fear or anxiety. Here's a tip to make visualization even more effective. Combine it with positive affirmations. For example, while you're imagining yourself speaking fluently, you can repeat affirmations like, I am a confident English speaker, or I communicate clearly and easily. This strengthens the positive message in your mind and prepares you for real life situations. Many successful people have used visualization to achieve their goals. One of the most famous quotes about visualization comes from Oprah Winfrey, who said, "Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe." When you visualize yourself succeeding, you're giving yourself a roadmap to follow. The great thing about visualization and affirmations is that you can do them anywhere while waiting for a bus, before bed, or during your morning routine. It's a simple but powerful way to shift your mindset and build confidence. If you want to take your visualization practice to the next level, try writing down your goals for speaking English. For example, you could write, I want to confidently introduce myself in English in any situation. Or, I want to have a 5-minute conversation in English without hesitation. Writing these goals down helps make them feel more real, and visualizing them brings you closer to achieving them. Remember, confidence is not something that appears overnight. It's something you build step by step, and tools like positive affirmations and visualization can speed up that process. By changing the way you think about yourself as an English speaker, you can change the way you act. When you feel more confident inside, it shows in your speech. Before we wrap up this chapter, I want to encourage you to check out the motivational videos we've uploaded on our channel. These videos are designed to keep you inspired and focused on your goals, and they'll help you stay motivated as you practice speaking English. As you move forward, keep using these techniques to build your confidence from the inside out. Remember, you have the ability to speak English confidently. You just need to believe it. Chapter 6: Building Confidence in Real Life Situations. You've learned about the power of practice, thinking in English, and using positive affirmations. Now it's time to take everything you've learned and put it to use in the real world. The ultimate goal of gaining confidence is to be able to speak English naturally in everyday situations. Whether that's ordering food at a restaurant, asking for directions, or even chatting with strangers. But here's the thing: Real life situations can sometimes feel overwhelming. You may feel pressure to speak perfectly or worry about being judged. The good news is that you don't need to speak perfectly to be understood or to communicate effectively. Confidence comes from knowing that even if you make mistakes, you can still connect with others and get your message across. As the famous saying goes, the more you talk, the more confident you become. So, the key to building confidence in real life situations is to talk as much as you can, even in small ways. Let's start with some common situations and how you can approach them with confidence. Ordering food at a restaurant. One of the easiest ways to practice speaking English is when ordering food. Whether you're at a cafe or a restaurant, this is a great opportunity to practice short, simple sentences. You might start by saying something like, "I'd like a coffee, please," or "Can I have the menu?" These are simple requests, but they allow you to practice speaking in a real world setting. Before you go to the restaurant, it can help to prepare what you want to say. For example, think about the food or drink you want to order and practice saying it out loud. This way, when you're ready to order, you'll feel more prepared and confident. Here's a quick tip. When you're practicing, focus on speaking slowly. Many people feel nervous and rush through their sentences, which can lead to mistakes. By slowing down, you'll have more control over what you're saying, and it will help you speak more clearly. Asking for directions. Another everyday situation where you can build your confidence is by asking for directions. This is a great way to practice because it involves both speaking and listening. You might start by saying, "Excuse me, can you tell me where the nearest bus stop is?" Or, "How do I get to the train station?" If the person responds too quickly or uses words you don't understand, don't be afraid to ask them to repeat or speak more slowly. You can say, "Can you please repeat that?" Or, "Can you speak slower, please?" It's perfectly okay to ask for clarification, and this will help you feel more in control of the conversation. Asking for directions also gives you the chance to use the listening skills you've been practicing. You can listen for keywords like street names or landmarks, which will help you understand the response, even if you don't catch every single word. Starting a conversation with a stranger. This one might sound a bit scary, but starting a conversation with a stranger can be an excellent way to build your speaking confidence. It doesn't have to be a long conversation, just a few simple sentences. For example, if you're in a park, you might say, "It's a nice day today." Or if you're waiting in line, you could ask, "How long have you been waiting?" The goal here is not to have a deep, meaningful conversation, but to practice breaking the ice and using English in a natural way. You might be surprised by how friendly and open people can be when you take the initiative to start a conversation. Handling mistakes in conversations. One of the biggest fears people have when speaking English in real life is making mistakes. But as we've discussed before, mistakes are part of the learning process. The important thing is how you handle them. If you make a mistake, don't panic. Instead, correct yourself and keep going. For example, if you say, I go to the store yesterday, you can quickly correct it by saying, I mean, I went to the store yesterday. Native speakers make mistakes all the time, and it's completely normal to pause and correct yourself. If the person you're speaking to points out a mistake, don't let it affect your confidence. Simply thank them and continue the conversation. Remember, every mistake you make is an opportunity to learn and improve. Preparing for common situations. Another way to build confidence in real life situations is to prepare for the most common types of conversations you'll have. For example, think about the places you go often: the grocery store, the post office, or even a bus stop. Prepare a few sentences that you might need to use in these places. For example, if you're going to the grocery store, practice saying, Where can I find the milk? Or, How much does this cost? By preparing in advance, you'll feel more confident when the time comes to speak. You'll already have the sentences in your head, and you'll be able to speak more naturally. Using body language to project confidence. It's not just about what you say, it's also about how you say it. Body language plays a huge role in how confident you appear. Even if you're feeling nervous on the inside, you can still project confidence by using open, relaxed body language. Stand or sit up straight, make eye contact, and smile when you're speaking. When you use confident body language, it sends a message to the person you're speaking to that you're comfortable and in control. This can also help you feel more confident inside. Sometimes acting confident can actually help you become more confident. Practice real life conversations. On our channel, we've uploaded several videos that simulate real life conversations. These videos are designed to help you practice common situations, like ordering food or asking for directions. I encourage you to watch these videos and repeat the sentences out loud. You can even try shadowing the conversations to improve your fluency and pronunciation. By practicing these real life conversations, you'll be more prepared when the time comes to speak in English. The more familiar you are with these situations, the more confident you'll feel when you're actually in them. As you continue practicing in real life situations, remember this quote: The only way to gain confidence is to do things you're afraid of. Each time you speak in English, even if it's just a few sentences, you're taking another step toward building lasting confidence. Chapter 7: Review and Final Encouragement. You've made it to the final chapter of this journey toward gaining confidence in speaking English. We've covered so much ground, from overcoming fear and the power of practice to using positive affirmations, thinking in English, and preparing for real life situations. Now it's time to bring it all together and reflect on how you can keep building your confidence step by step. Let's start with a quick review of the key ideas we've explored. First, we talked about overcoming the fear of speaking. Remember, fear is natural and it's something everyone experiences. The important thing is not to let fear hold you back. By starting small, practicing with simple sentences, and speaking with people you trust, you can slowly but surely overcome your fear. As Albert Hubbard said, the greatest mistake you can make in life is to be continually fearing you will make one. The more you speak, the less power that fear will have over you. Next, we looked at the power of practice and repetition. Consistent practice is the foundation of building confidence. Just like learning any new skill, speaking English becomes easier the more you do it. Whether you're practicing with a friend, talking to yourself in the mirror, or using shadowing techniques with videos on our channel, every bit of practice brings you closer to your goal. Remember, confidence is something you build over time, one small step at a time. Then, we explored the concept of thinking in English instead of translating from your native language. This shift helps you speak more naturally and without hesitation. By surrounding yourself with English through listening, reading, and labeling things around your home, you can train your brain to think in English, which will make speaking easier and faster. As you continue practicing, you'll notice that English thoughts will start to come more naturally. After that, we dove into the importance of positive affirmations and visualization. Confidence is not just about what you do, it's also about how you think. Using affirmations like, I can speak English confidently or I improve every day helps shift your mindset from doubt to belief. Visualization is a powerful tool that allows you to imagine yourself speaking confidently in real life situations, preparing your mind for success. As Theodore Roosevelt said, believe you can, and you're halfway there. We also discussed real life situations and how to apply everything you've learned. Whether you're ordering food, asking for directions, or starting a conversation with a stranger, every real life situation is an opportunity to practice and grow. The key is to start small, use the techniques you've learned, and not be afraid of making mistakes. As the famous quote says, the more you talk, the more confident you become. Confidence grows with experience, and every conversation is a chance to build that experience. Now that you've learned these powerful tools and techniques, what's next? How do you continue building your confidence and improving your English speaking skills? Here are a few final tips to keep you on the right path. 1. Keep practicing every day. Even after this podcast, your journey continues. Make it a goal to practice speaking English every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Whether you're talking to yourself, practicing with a friend, or using our videos for shadowing, Daily practice will keep your progress steady and help you build even more confidence. 2. Set small goals. Big goals can sometimes feel overwhelming, so break them down into smaller, achievable steps. For example, set a goal to have a 2-minute conversation in English or to use 3 new English phrases every day. When you achieve these small goals, it will boost your confidence and motivate you to keep going. 3. Embrace mistakes. Remember, mistakes are part of learning. Don't be afraid to make them. Each mistake teaches you something new, and the more you embrace them, the faster you will improve. As you practice speaking, focus on progress, not perfection. 4. Use our resources. On our channel, we've uploaded several videos and podcasts designed to help you improve your English speaking skills. Use these resources as often as you need to. Whether you're practicing real-life conversations, learning new phrases, or working on your pronunciation, these videos will support you as you continue to grow. 5. Stay positive and motivated. Building confidence takes time, and there will be moments when you feel frustrated or stuck. In those moments, remind yourself of how far you've come. Use positive affirmations to keep your mindset strong and visualize your success. Every day, you're getting closer to becoming a confident English speaker. Before we close this chapter, I want to leave you with one last quote from Albert Schweitzer. Success is not the key to confidence. Confidence is the key to success. Your journey to confidence is not about achieving perfection or becoming the best speaker in the room. It's about believing in yourself, embracing the learning process, and knowing that with time and practice, you will succeed. You have all the tools you need to gain confidence in speaking English. Now it's time to take what you've learned and put it into action. Start with small steps, keep practicing, and stay patient with yourself. Confidence doesn't happen overnight, but with each word you speak, you're building the foundation for fluency. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I'm so proud of the progress you've made, and I can't wait to see how much more you'll grow. Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, every time you speak, you're getting better. Until next time, I'm Freya, and I believe in your ability to speak English with confidence. You've got this.